Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage. Welcome to a new series of Sid Meier's Civilization 6. It's been a little while since I've played any Civ 6. I got quite burnt out with it by playing it quite a lot before it released and then quite a bit afterwards as well. And despite my love for the game, and don't get me wrong, I do really enjoy it, there are several things about it that I don't enjoy quite as much as I should. Things that feel like a step backwards from Civilization 5, such as the poor diplomacy, for example, and the agenda system, which essentially means that the AI pretty much always hates you. So I decided to take a little bit of a break from the game in the hope that these issues would get fixed. And Firaxis have been working towards sorting out a lot of these complaints. They have been adding patches and balance changes. Do I think they fixed all of the issues that myself and a lot of other players have? No, I don't think they're even close. Are they working in the right direction towards fixing these issues? Well, they certainly seem to be. They're definitely taking the feedback on board. However, there's been a few new DLCs out. I did briefly play as Poland, but the latest one is Australia, and I haven't played as Australia yet. Well, I've messed around with them sort of just briefly before starting the recording, but I figured it was time to go and have a game with Australia. I'm not going to be playing this on any particularly hardcore difficulty because they have made some changes to the game itself, certain mechanics and balance changes, so I don't know how that has affected the difficulty. If I'm honest, I probably could complete the game on Deity if I tried. I've beaten it on Emperor. I can beat Civilization 5 on Deity, and Civilization 6 is by all accounts supposed to be easier once you get past the early game. And, but as I've said before with Civilization 5, I just don't enjoy playing on those harder difficulty levels, because even though I can beat the game, it just feels like I'm playing against people who are cheating, and it loses a lot of its fun for me. So we're going to go into single player. We are going to create a game. Now, I'm going to go into advanced setup here because what I specifically want to do here is we're going to play on King. We're not going to play on Prince, we're going to play on King. And we are going to go on a large map, not a standard map. We're going to go on a large map with Fractal. We're going to go back down to 9 city-states. And we're going to get rid of a couple of the leaders. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're playing as if we are playing on a standard map, but the map's going to be a little bit larger. Everything else is going to remain as default. And the leader we are going to be playing as is John Curtin, Australia. Now, I actually think that Australia is quite a powerful civilization. And it's certainly possible to get different types of victories with them. I think they lend themselves well to a science victory, and I'll explain why in a second. So first of all, John Curtin's ability is the Citadel of Civilization, and we get 100% bonus to production if we receive a declaration of war in the past 10 turns, or if we've liberated a city in the past 20 turns. So basically, if you get war declared against you, 100% production for 10 turns. If you liberate a city, you get 100% production bonus for 20 turns. Now, Australia's unique abilities, first of all, you've got land down under. You get +3 housing in coastal cities. So basically, building a city on the coast is the same as building a city on a river, which is really, really strong. Also, pastures trigger a culture bomb. So it works much the same way as the Polish culture bomb works. You can't claim tiles that are more than 3 tiles away from the city, but you can claim all of the tiles around them within that radius. Yields from campuses, commercial hubs, holy sites and theatre squares get +2 in tiles with charming appeal and +4 in tiles with breathtaking appeal. So basically, if we build campuses, commercial hubs, holy sites and theatre squares, we want to be putting them in tiles that have as higher appeal as possible so we get better bonuses. Our unique unit is called the Digger. It's a modern era unit that replaces the infantry, and it's only slightly better than infantry. I think infantry has a base combat of 70, and the Digger is 72. But we get +10 combat strength when fighting on coastal tiles, and +5 combat strength when fighting on neutral or foreign territory. And those two things stack. So if we're outside of our own territory and fighting on the coast, we have +15 extra combat strength. And then finally there is our unique improvement, which is the Outback Station. And basically the Outback Station gives +1 food and +1 production, and it also gives +1 food and for each adjacent pasture. And it can be built on deserts, desert hills, grasslands and plains tiles. So the fact that we can basically get +1 food and +1 production as a base from a desert tile is fantastic. And then if they're next to pastures, they gain additional food, and also they gain additional production and food from various technologies and civics as we advance. This is why I think that they're going to be really good for a science victory, because the ability to get extra housing on coastal cities and the ability to produce lots of extra food means that we'll have more population. More population means getting a higher science output. It'll also stack with the fact that campuses get bonus yields from being on tiles with high appeal, and we also get the production bonuses from the Outback Station, as well as the potential to get some production bonuses from the Citadel of Civilization. So population bonuses, science bonuses and production bonuses I think make Australia a really strong contender. So let's go in and start the game. Hopefully we'll get a decent start.
The stirrings of life beneath water, to the great beasts of the Stone Age, to man taking his first upright steps, you have come far. Now begins your greatest quest, from this early cradle of civilization on towards the stars. Prime Minister Curtin, you will lead Australia through challenge after challenge, and your people will emerge all the stronger for it. Others will seek friendship for your strength. If these friends prove loyal, your might and protection will carry you far. But stay vigilant, for aggression is not your natural course.
It does make me wonder if they actually got Sean Bean to pre-record all of these different nations' introductions in advance, meaning that they already knew the civilizations they were going to add, or whether they're actually calling him in on an ad hoc basis to re-record these when they add new civilizations. So, like most games of Civilization, it's all basically won or lost in the first handful of turns, so we want to hope for a relatively decent start. We're starting here next to a pasture, which is really nice for us. Let's have a quick look around and see if there is anywhere else we particularly want to be settling. Doesn't look like there is. I'm playing using the CQ UI mod, which you can find a link to in the description in the video. Basically, it just makes a lot of things easy to find on the interface. Also makes the map larger. As you can see, this is the map at full size. That's what the map's normally like, but we get a much larger map here. Now, there have been a few other changes that have been made to the game. Like I said, there is a patch, regardless of whether or not you've got the DLC, and that patch changes several things. I'll try and go through them as and when I come to them. I can remember what most of them are, but not what all of them are. We do have a pasture close by. Unfortunately, though, unless we move, it's not really going to be a pasture where we can put much around it, but I think this is a good spot to settle all the same, so let's go ahead and drop our city down right there. And as I said, it has been a while since I played, so I'm going to try and remember to manage my tiles well. So we could go for 2 food and 1 production with 2 gold, but I think we're going to go for the 3 food just for the time being. Because having the 3 food will mean we'll get an extra population more quickly. We don't need the gold in an emergency. We're going to start off with a scout. You'll notice I've got a production queue. This is part of the UI mod. We're going to start with a scout, and then we'll definitely want to go into a slinger. Haven't decided where we're going to go from that, so let's get out of there. Going to choose our research. I'm just going to open the tech tree because this is one of the first things that you'll notice that has changed. So several of the positions of several of the techs have changed. Like archery, for example, used to be a leaf tech. You didn't have to take archery because it wasn't a requirement to get crossbows, which you get all the way down here at machinery somewhere, yeah, down there. But you now actually have to take archery in order to move into horseback riding and various other things. So they've gotten rid of a lot of these leaf techs. Irrigation's still a leaf tech now, though. And what else have we got? The few more that they did change. I believe one of the ones that was changed was it rigging? Like I said, I'm trying to remember. I did look a couple of days ago at the list and now I've forgotten what they all were, but there's certainly a few things that have changed. Stirrups you now get in the medieval era, as opposed to getting them in, I think it was the classical era before. So now knights are basically a later game unit. Yes, square rigging. Square rigging is no longer a leaf tech and is required to get industrialization. And there's also, I think you now need radio in order to get computers. Or something like that. So there's quite a few things that are all sort of changed around. Another change they've made is they've actually made it so that instead of you being able to... one problem you used to have in Civilization 6 is you'd often be able to unlock the tech to build a specific unit, but you didn't have the tech to find the required resource to build that unit. So they've sort of changed the text around a little bit where resources are revealed, so that you should have access to the resources before you can build the units, which would be more useful. The main idea of changing this the tech around like this was to try and make it so that you wouldn't hit the end of the tech tree quite as quickly. We're going to go and start off with pottery just so we can get a granary. It's not like it's worth having things to upgrade because it might be a little while before we get a builder out. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of exploration. We are on a Fractals map, so you never know what you're going to end up with here. We do have another pasture, so we could definitely get another city over on this side of the map. So we'll take a few turns to go and explore around. Got coffee over here as well. Obviously, we don't want to stray too far away with our warrior, because you never know when you're going to get attacked by barbarians, and it happens a lot. We've actually gained a recon unit, which is really good. But I've only got... I think I'll keep the other scout going.
As it turns out,
And we've got Mount Kilimanjaro, fantastic. What does Mount Kilimanjaro give me now? I've completely forgotten. Is it the extra food yields? It is, isn't it? So it might be worth... yeah, +2 food to adjacent tiles, so it might be worth settling up and around there. I will keep the other scout coming, because we've already put several turns into it. But this does mean that I can turn the warrior around more quickly, but we do want to go and have a little look around here. Found another goodie hut, so we definitely want to pick that up. I really don't know what sort of start we're going to have. Again, one thing I've always said about Civilization 6 is it doesn't really matter what difficulty you're playing on. The game is going to be won or lost in the first 50 or 70 turns or so. If you get a relatively isolated start, away from barbarians and other civilizations, and you're pretty much left to just get on and do your thing, you can usually go ahead to win. It's only when you get into a situation where you are constantly having to fight off other attacks that things tend to go bad for you. Let's go ahead and grab that. That gives us a boost to masonry. That's pretty cool. We've got 2 population now. We are working that tile, which is good. That's the tile I did want to be working. I don't like the fact that there is this barbarian camp up here. So I'm going to start bringing my warrior back. As soon as we're done with this scout, we'll be working on a slinger anyway. There's the scout. You're going to go off in this direction. We do have some desert tiles. But that's fine, because remember, we can actually build our outback stations on desert hills. The only downside is it'll take us a little while before we unlock them. They come quite far down in the tech tree, I seem to recall. There's our unique unit under replaceable parts. Obviously, that's just replacing the infantry. But our unique upgrade, which I'm not going to spot now. Like I said, I did sort of fire it up and look for it briefly before, and now I can't remember where it is. It's certainly not something you get early on in the game. That much I know for sure. Or was it a Civic? Now I can't remember. Can't type either. Not showing there. I think it's a Civic then. Open Civics tree. Come on, I know you're in here somewhere. There it is. It's under guilds. So we need to get down to guilds to get the outback station. It's not Australia's music playing at the moment, but if you do hear the music at some point, you'll notice that it's Waltzing Matilda. Let's go and have a look down here. That might actually be Australia's music playing. I'm not too sure which music that is that's playing. It sounds like it's America's. We found another goodie hut, so we'll definitely want to go and get that. So we'll skip that turn there. The slinger is almost out. Now, speaking of barbarians,
clay and then left it.
Research in pottery is now complete.
By chance and fortune.
Now then, what do we want to go for here? Could get astrology nice and early. Get sailing nice and early. Found a natural wonder. We could get a holy site up and running. We don't have any mountains around, which is unfortunate. Sailing could be useful. We'll definitely get some fishing boats. Go and start working on sailing. Just have a quick look over here. Another pasture. We have found another barbarian camp. We might want to try and clear that one out quickly if we can. Especially as the scout can't actually get round. We can block them in on that tile. Let's get a goodie hut. 40 gold. Gold is good for us. And we found another goodie hut. Well, we're doing well today, aren't we? So, it's going to be difficult to get to that goodie hut whichever way we go. But we'll try and move on in there. Population is still at 2. A couple more turns before that grows. Yeah, I was talking about barbarians. So what they've done now is they've made it so that if you kill a barbarian camp, the remaining barbarians from that camp will enrage. Makes life a little more tricky. Unit has gained experience. Fantastic. Would have been nicer if that had been on the warrior, but fine. Now we found another continent, so that gives us a boost to foreign trade. On to the next turn. Let's keep looking around here and see what we can find. Oh, would you look at that? We've got another barbarian camp. But at the same time, we also have another goodie hut, which is really good. Finding quite a lot of these. Now, unfortunately, we don't have our extra damage. This will be a stalemate. Remember that we can heal up and the barbarians can't. So we can beat them up a little bit here. Once we've got Code of Laws done and we can actually get our ability to do some extra damage to the barbarians, that will be nice. Let's start bringing you back over this way. We'll send one of you sort of south and one of you north. Might not be a bad idea. Let's go on to the next turn. I think you should be safe on this camp. But we do need to get rid of these barbarian camps. This is what will cause a major problem if we do not. See, that's still saying it's going to be a stalemate, so let's just heal up a little bit with you. Let's get you over in this direction as well. You actually had your upgrade that I forgot to give you. We'll do that on the next turn, assuming I remember. Population's now up to 3.
Wisdom, but authority that makes a law.
2 food and 1 production. Seems like a good idea. Let's go ahead and... Well, we can move you before we give you your upgrade, so let's move you to there. And we'll give you Ranger, I think. There's quite a lot of trees. Choosing a new Civic. Well, we might as well go for foreign trade because we've got the boost on it. But it does mean that we can go in here now and we'll get the extra combat of it versus barbarians. We'll go for the Golden Faith just so we can try and get a Pantheon nice and early if possible. And now we do extra damage versus barbarians. Let's start getting some of these camps cleared out. Quicker we can get rid of the barbarian camps, the better. And it's extra money, of course. And we get ourselves some more money there. Unfortunately, we can't back away from those guys, which is a little bit unfortunate. They may attack or they may leave us alone. They don't always come out of their camp. Looks like they left us alone. So I'm going to back out. I'm going to go south with this guy through the desert. This is the guy that can go up through the sort of hills here. So we've got our slinger. We probably need another slinger, to be honest. Not to mention another warrior. We could do with a builder. We could do with another settler, actually. Try and get another city over here as quickly as possible. We did spot another... Yeah, we could have a pasture here. So we probably want to think about... I don't know, where do we want to settle? On this tile? 1, 2, 3. That'll get us the pearls. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that tile there I'm thinking is a good one. Let's go ahead and add a pin right on there. And we'll use the city centre marker for that one. Not going to bother giving it a name, I just need the marker there. That's enough for me to remember. So we will want to try and get a settler out as quickly as possible. That will how long will that take? 13 turns. I think we'll wait on the settler. And I think we'll go ahead and get a monument first. A monument. We might get a granary. Well, we will definitely get a granary at some point, but I just need to keep my eye on the order we're going to get things. You're going to stay there for now, because we're not being directly attacked. So you're going to start heading to the south. And you're going to try and finish this camp off if you can. Fantastic. So that's a camp cleared. That also gives us a boost to military tradition. We've still got to kill this guy off. And that gives us some more gold. So we could just go ahead and buy a builder when we require a builder. That's good. You're actually attacking me with a scout.
Vessels large may venture more, but little boats should keep near shore.
Now, if we were to attack you, it would be a major victory, but we'd come off worse. So we do have a promotion available. So let's just go ahead and give you that straight away. That should save you from any future attacks. Animal husbandry. What do we need to actually get the boost? There isn't one, is there, for that? So we'll go ahead and get animal husbandry. And then we can just go ahead and grab a pasture. You're still attacking me. This is what I said about raging barbarians. Once you destroy the camp, the barbarians do start to rage. But we can go ahead and kill you off. Got another pasture that we can have down here. Not so great for outback stations because it doesn't have a lot of land around it, unfortunately. I am going to recall... we found Palenque. I am going to recall that warrior, though. Going to bring him home. You have a mission for us, which is to train an archer. That is definitely something that will be happening, hopefully sooner rather than later. Let's keep exploring the coastline, because that's what benefits us most as Australia. Yeah, I'm going to bring you back. We'll try and get the other camps cleared out. We can always send one of the scouts back down there. So let's get you back up over here. Let's keep you moving up this way. It looks like Palenque's been dealing with those barbarians, so we may not have to, which would be really nice if that's the case. Population is still at 3. 5 turns until growth. We can tell that from our CQUI mod there. So basically I'm using 3 out of 17 housing. The 19... trying to remember what the... 19's how many turns until the tiles grow, which you can tell if I actually mouse over there, you can see which tile it's going to be, that one there. But we're using 3 out of our 7 housing. We've got 5 turns until the population grows. So all useful information to have. And we found another goody hut. Couple of pastures up here. This would be a nice spot to be able to settle. Maybe a little bit close to Palenque, but certainly worth keeping our eye on. And we have met Barbosa. Barbosa? Not Barbosa, is it? Yeah, stop. Barbarossa, that's it. Couldn't remember his surname there. Yeah, Barbarossa. Barbosa's like Pirates of the Caribbean. Anyway, honoured to meet you. Now, you're over here. Okay, now one thing they're supposed to have done is made it so that the AIs are more likely to want to be friendly with you. We'll send a delegation, and hopefully we can try and get friendly with some people. Probably won't happen, because this is one of the issues I have with Civilization 6. Now, there probably aren't going to be any goody huts over here if he's already in this direction, so we probably want to bring you back down over here. We definitely want to grab this goody hut. That's given us a boost towards early empire. That's actually really good. We definitely want the monument to finish now. There's only 4 turns away.
When I die, I want to go where they went.
Animal husbandry is done. We've got enough gold to just outright buy a builder, so that's what we're going to do. Kill a unit with a slinger we haven't done yet. Writings, only 4 turns. Let's go on to that. Now then, we do have a barbarian camp there. We could potentially move out and try and kill a barbarian with the slinger. It's a bit of a risk, but we'll consider giving it a go. We're going to try and bring you down here and go and explore this area. You can continue to work your way up here. I'm going to leave that scout alone. Send a trade route. I'm much better off just trying to discover city-states than do anything else at the moment. Now, as you can see, look, Barbarossa is already unfriendly. First impressions of you, -4. Well, why? We sent the delegation that gave us +3. So you actually start off unfriendly. What are you supposed to do about that? We actually have a unit here. Is that a hill? It looks like a hill. No, it's not a hill. We won't get a kill on you, unfortunately. Won't be able to do enough damage. But if we can kill a unit off with you, that'll give us a boost to archery. We're going to go ahead and get a pasture here. That will claim all of the adjacent tiles. There's only 2, but it'll claim those 2 tiles for us, which is not a bad thing. Let's keep looking up in this direction with this scout, though. That warrior is starting to make his way back, so hopefully he'll get to a safe spot. It would be nice if we can find some more goody huts. Now, that's definitely a hill. So there's not a huge deal of point me moving. Well, I could move onto the hill. It does give me a better line of sight. So you're going to go ahead and get the pasture there. So as you can see, that did indeed claim the extra 2 tiles for us. You are still working your way back. I guess these guys are probably going to come and attack now because that scout's going to go back to the camp. Let's try and get down here. It looks like it's a little peninsula, so there probably isn't going to be much to find. And of course, Germany's trying to get down there as quickly as he can, which is a little bit annoying. Let's just keep moving you forwards, just to give us some line of sight. Now then, what am I going to do with you? I probably don't have much else that I can do with you right now, so we'll just put you in the city. Put you to sleep for now until we have some better tiles that we can upgrade. Let's keep scouting around up the top. And we'll just finish this turn. It's been quite a long video, but I did talk quite a lot at the beginning. But this is a good place to end. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are going to be enjoying this series of Civilization 6. I will see you on the next video, and until then, goodbye for now.